Okay, so what we are going to do today, and yes, this is my first video, it'll be the first of many. I bought this Ryobi 10-inch table saw, man, from the thrift store, and I told the lady, I asked the lady if she would let me try it out, and I plugged it in, which it is plugged in right now. Plugged it in, hit the switch, and it didn't work. So I said, hey, let me get a discount on this thing because I want to try to fix it. So now I'm going to let you guys see, take this journey with me while I fix this Ryobi 10-inch table saw. What I think is wrong with it, I think this switch has a break in the connection somewhere. So I purchased a new switch. I looked up the table saw, and this seems to be a common problem. So I'm just going to change out this switch. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. All right. Some of the things I would recommend having. I would have some safety gloves on, man. Just a brush to knock off some old dust. I would use a multimeter if I were you guys, unless you just know what the issue is. I would use a multimeter. I got this from Harbor Freight. It's only $6.99. I got it for free with a coupon, So if you hear echo in the background, that's because I'm in the garage right now, and this is where I'm doing everything. I have these circummural ear muffs or ear protection because when I turn this bad boy on, it's close to, if not more than 100 dB coming at my ears. So we all know hearing loss is progressive, so we need to protect our ears, right? Then I have some electrical tape, and I have a nice little blade, handy blade. We need a Phillips. This is really, as far as hand tools go, this is the only tool you'll really need to get into this thing, because there's 4 Phillips head screws holding the switch in. The switch is, it's a cheap part. It's only a few dollars, not a few dollars, about $10, and it's plastic. So let's get started, man. The first thing I am going to do is disconnect power from the table saw. So now I'm going to disconnect or unscrew all these Phillips head screws. You can use a drill just to make it go faster. I'm just using a Phillips. The drill is in the house right now. There's if you can see, there's one here and then there's one here. Take these out. So next, we're gonna flip this up, flip it up. You see under here, this is, like I said, I got it from a pawn shop. It's a used table saw, very dusty under here. Very dusty under here, okay? We'll disconnect, we'll take the switch off of here. I just turned it up. And there are plugs in here. Plugs that go on the back of this switch. I disconnected them already. Now, I don't know if you guys can see right here, this prong here, it was burned up. You can see this a different color than the rest of them. It's because it was a little bit charred. You can see the plastic right here has some issues, and I'm just gonna change it out for a brand new switch. I did not change the terminals in here. I didn't change them because I did a continuity check, and everything was still allowing electricity to go through, and I am impatient, and I wanted to get to the use of my table saw as soon as possible. You guys should probably change that out. I'm just not going to change it out because I don't feel like it. That's that. Okay. Now, so we are going to put this. This is the new switch. You see the Ryobi sticker is not on here because I did not purchase a replacement sticker. I didn't think it was important. Let's use our brush to knock some of this excess loose dirt off of there. Again, I told you this is used, so you see this knob is missing from here. This knob would be used to turn this. So I'll replace that eventually, another time. Okay, so we'll put this in here. Okay. And if you can see under here, now, you know, something that you should know, you want to use your multimeter to figure out, or, you know, if you know how to check continuity, which is resistance, or the lack of resistance. Resistance would mean lack of continuity. So if you want to check your continuity, you would use this on the resistance. This is the cheapest like multimeter you probably ever see. I wouldn't use it for work, but I will use it for here. So if you want to check that to make sure you are connecting these to the correct contacts. So the power cord, I'm going to connect the power cord terminals to these bottom contacts. Okay, the bottom set, meaning the side close, the contacts closest to the bottom of the saw base, right? And I had those taped together in here so that I didn't mix them up. All right, so I wrapped them in electrical tape so to keep them together, so I didn't mix them up. And then the terminals that are connected to the table saw motor, you want to connect that to these top connectors here. The reason is because when this switch is down, right? When this switch is down, it has a lever in there that disconnects it from the contact. So I'll show you an example. Okay, this is how it is. You see my hand is off the table, right? This is how it is when it's in the off position, and that will be an open, electrical open. When you hit the switch up like that, when you go up like that, right? You see how it's at an incline? All right, so this is an open. When you hit the switch up, it goes down, makes contact, and it completes the circuit. So that's how that switch works. All right. So that's why so when it's up, you want it to complete the circuit up here. So that's why you will connect the motor to the top, you want to connect the motor to the top contacts. You want to connect you want power coming in at the bottom contacts. All right, let's get it. Okay, now you can see that I have connected to the top two. I connected the terminals coming from the motor. I've connected to the contacts on the upper part of the switch. Now I will connect the power. And of course, I'm not connected to power, but I'll connect the power to the bottom contacts on this switch. All right. Okay. And now I have connected the power terminals to the contacts on the bottom side of the switch. All right. So now I just need to put these Phillips head screws back in. I press this up, put the Phillips head screws back in there in the front up here, and then we will test this baby out. All right. All right. Let me show you guys something very quickly. This is how you want to check continuity. Okay. Can you see the measurement on here? Okay. Right now that says 1, but it's all the way over to the left. That means that we have an open. It means there is no electricity flowing through these two leads, right? But if we touch them together, now we have 0. That means we have a short. That means we have continuity. All right, so what I'm going to do is check the outlet or the plug. We're going to check it with the switch up there. So I'll show you the readings every time I get a reading. All right. So we don't need to check both sides. We'll just check one. Okay. We'll check one. Okay, now I'm touching one of these contacts up here. When you touch the contacts against each other, you see that you get a short, which means you have continuity, right? Now, right now, this is the power side of the terminal of the switch. We do not have, the switch is, right now it's off, all right? The switch is off right now. So that means that we should not get any electricity on the motor side of the switch. So when I check this side, I should see an open, which is that one all the way to the left. But then when I hit the switch up, I turn the switch up, and now I have continuity. That's a good sign. That means when we plug this thing in, it should turn on. All right, I just wanted to show you how to use a multimeter when you check this thing. I know for the real electrician and electrical people out there, I know this is very janky the way I'm doing it, but I know how to do it, so I'm just showing it so that people can understand it. All right. Okay, so I got the switch back on there. I definitely stripped these because I told you it's plastic. So this case is plastic, so I stripped these screws out. I'm gonna have to fix that another time, but I just want to check and see if it's working. You see, I brought the blade up a little bit, maybe about 1.25 inches or something. All right, so this is where I put my hearing protection on. Put my goggles on because I don't want anything to go in my eyes. Plug it in. Now, let's see if it works. We're good to go.